Get Laid Tonight, the average guy's guide to getting laid within 24 hours. Module 3, the finish line. All right, gentlemen, the finish line is the last module in this speed system. So you made a plan, you learned the formula, you went out and swooped up a sexy girl, but this last module is just as valuable as the other three, because this is where it really comes down to. Now, learning how to deal with LMR, last minute resistance, is what separates the players from the played. And even if you've been frustrated to no end in the past and been left hanging with blue balls, see what I did there? You now have the module with all of my secrets about how to get that one night stand notch and many, many more if you want them. So without further ado, because I'm sure you're ready to get out there and start putting this gold to work, let's dive into how to deal with LMR, last minute resistance, and get her begging you to fuck her. Well, first off, I'm going to break down what is last minute resistance, right? There's different kind of varying opinions on it. It's a wide range, but in general, it's basically the girl, starting to kind of throw up resistance to having sex with you, right? Now, there's multiple reasons why. I'm going to go through all of them, but these are the main ones. These are the main ones that I'm sure you've heard it in the past before, or if you haven't, you're definitely going to hear some of these. Now, number one, she doesn't want to feel like a slut, right? Number two, she more than likely doesn't want you to think she's a slut. Number three, she doesn't want her friends to think she's a slut, usually. Now, she's got a lot of slutty friends, and they don't give a rat's ass because they're just slutty, and they're all sluts, and they're sluts that hang out with sluts. Because they're sluts, then they don't care. But in general, girls don't want their friends to think they're sluts. Number four, she might have had pregnancy scares in the past and or been pregnant and had an abortion or abortions and doesn't want a repeat of that. And this is very common. I think it's rare to meet a girl that hasn't had an abortion now. She's like 23, 24. She's probably already had one. So the pregnancy scares can definitely be something they throw up. 5, she might have an STD and is scared to tell you for fear you won't want to fuck her. You might judge her, or you might think she's gross. Number 6, she might be scared you have an STD. Number 7, she might be on her period. Now, this is very common since girls get very horny right before they start their period, and I'm going to tell you a solution for that in a little bit. Number 8, she might see you as long-term potential boyfriend type material and doesn't want you to think she's a slut. Now, note, she shouldn't think you're anything but Mr. Right now if you follow my steps, but a girl could really fall for your bad boy ways anyway. So, in other words, if you're following everything in the system, she's going to know you're a good time guy. She's going to know that you're just in town for a little bit, quote unquote. And you can get away from that as you tweak and perfect your one-night stand game. But in the beginning, just follow these steps. But she should know, okay, he's a good time guy. So she's not going to really be looking at you as like a boyfriend. But there are those rare cases where she might be like, wow, I really want to see something more with him. Number 9, she is a slut and is tired of always giving it up quickly. Now, this is usually associated with guilt of being an easy girl. So there are other girls that are just sluts, right? But she's tired of always giving up quickly and getting pumped and dumped. Number 10, she has psychological hang-ups from childhood, and it plays into her sexuality. This is very common with girls with mental issues, BPD, borderline personality disorder, BP, bipolar, manic depressive, etc., etc. So that can kind of be a little red flag sometimes. Number 11, and so on, right? You get the picture. Tons of reasons, while as a man, you're ready to go from the moment you saw her. And some people say men and women aren't different. Now, the key is with this is to start priming her before you even get to her residence, your residence, or wherever the two of you wind up, a hotel, whatever. You want to be calibrating her until she's ready to get naked with you, to the point she's almost jumping your bones and taking her own clothes off. Now, how did you do this? Well, it started way back when you did a hook approach plus rapid physicality, right? You initiated physical contact within 30 seconds, and from the jump, you weren't a friend, you weren't a drinking buddy, you were a man who was interested, in her sexually. She knew what was up from the start. However, as the evening progressed, you got her into a more sexual state through the speed bubble and the physicality. When the two of you were in the corner making out, she tried grabbing your cock and you pulled her hand away last minute. What you did was tease her. This put her into an almost manic state where she became the aggressor. When you walked outside leading her by the hand after avoiding getting cock-blocked with the golden line I gave you, and she eagerly gave her verbal agreement and allowed herself to be led by you, then she knew what was up and was further enticed. When you waited just a minute for the Uber to arrive and pulled her in close and kissed her, she was further turned on. When you got to the Uber and had her sit on your lap, or at the least right beside you, and you rubbed her pussy as she softly moaned into your neck, she became almost weak with sexual delight. When you playfully slapped her ass as she got out of the Uber at her hotel, her legs quivered just a little bit in the enticement of having sex with you. In the elevator of her hotel, when the two of you passionately made out, her yearning for your cock grew even stronger. As you walked through the door of her hotel room, as she took her shirt off, unsnapped her bra, and fell to her knees to suck your cock, she was salivating at the thought of it in her mouth. As you put a condom on it, she said, "Baby, please fuck me," and you did over and over and over again. She knew what was up. Now, do you see how that worked? Now, that actually happens very often, just like that, with players around the world. I've experienced it hundreds of times, literally. Multiple players I know have experienced it, clients, etc. I'll be honest, I can't remember the last time I had hard LMR, right? The hardest LMR I've had in a while actually was like, "Do you have a condom?" Which I did not, and I had to go get one, and then we had sex. Right? But that wasn't even LMR, just her rule, and I obliged, of course. But let's say she does start to throw up excuses. Then what do? Now, here are the most common excuses you will hear and the best responses to said excuses. And you're probably going to laugh if you've experienced them, because it's like these girls operate from the same script, and that's why game works, because once you know game, and you practice it, and you learn it, and it becomes a part of you, then you're like, wow, this works on a lot of girls. Yes, because it is like they operate from the same script. Now, most common excuses followed by the best response. Her, "I don't have a condom, so we can't have sex unless you do." You, got one right here. Now, you have one on you because at the end of the system, I tell you to always have a condom on you no matter what, so excuse diverted. Her, "I'm on my period, so we can't have sex." You, "Baby girl, little blood don't scare me. I'm a grown-ass man. Just relax, okay?" And you go get a towel and lay it under her on the bed. Problem solved. Now, that's if you care. Some guys won't fuck a girl on her period, up to you. Back in the day, I could have cared less. I'd just wear a condom. Now, the older I get, I'm not as big about it. Just the drive is not there for that new notch to the point where I want to stick my dick in a vagina that's bleeding. But a lot of guys do, and that's completely up to you. Her, "I'm not a slut, so we can't have sex on the first night." This is a very fucking common one. You, "Slut. Of course you're not a slut. This is our second date, by the way. The first was at the club." Now, you're saying that sincerely with charm, and you continue to kiss her. Get her worked up sexually until she is ready. So you're agreeing. You're like, "Slut, what are you talking about? You're not a slut." Like, crazy, you know? So you're agreeing. In your mind, you could think she's the biggest raging whore you've ever met in your life, but you're obviously not verbalizing this. Now, pro tip, watch how her body is responding to you. The more she gets turned on, the more she'll give over to having sex if you were patient. Push-pull plays into this, hot and heavy, then you lean back. Calibrate accordingly, and always stop if she says stop. Here's some more continued excuses. Her, "I don't have sex the first night I meet a guy." And this is a classic response. I came up with this a few years ago. I've been using this. It's just funny. It's like the perfect way to disarm her. I don't either. In fact, I never have sex with a guy. You're using humor to agree and amplify. She'll laugh, and you just resume kissing, etc. So you're basically, when she's throwing up an excuse, it's kind of like, oh, yeah. Or, no, I don't see that at all. Yeah. And you just go back to what you're doing, right? Unless she says stop and she keeps kissing you and whatnot, then you continue going. Yeah, I can't have sex with you. Another super common one, who's saying anything about sex? Now, this is completely illogical, especially if the two of you are buck-ass naked on a bed, but it works because she needs to just hear you say that's not on the agenda. She's not retarded. She knows you want to have sex with her, but it gives her plausible deniability, which is imperative for some women to relax with their bodies. Just continue kissing her. I can't have sex, I have a boyfriend. You, live a little sexy, you ain't married yet. Now, this kind of ties into boyfriend destroyer game, but it depends on how you feel about this. Most girls won't even bring up their boyfriend anymore, so this one isn't as common as much, but in case it does come up, I think there's a statistic out that like 2/3 of the women on Tinder are in a relationship or married. So, I mean, it's getting more common for girls not to even say anything, but I remember a few years ago they would pull this line a few times, and this is a great response. Live a little sexy, ain't married yet, and they kind of laugh, you're right, be like, I don't see a ring on your finger. I can't have sex with you, I just met you. Now, this one's common when you pull her super fast. If she's not the aggressor, right? This can be a very common one that they'll throw up. I can't have sex with you, I just met you. Like, my God, this happened so fast. And this is another classic response using a little bit of humor to disarm her. You're right, let's wait longer. And then just kind of look at your watch seriously for like 3 seconds. Like 1,000, 1,002, 1,003. Okay, some time has passed. Right, and she'll laugh because it's kind of like what she's saying, but you're being chill about it. And you just go back to kissing her. You see a pattern? No matter what your response is, you're going back to kissing her and calibrating her physically, getting her warmed up. Here's another one. Wait, you were really smooth. How often do you do this? And this is another big one. I mean, these are all big, but it just makes me laugh thinking about different scenarios that are coming to mind with different girls when I'm talking about this. Great response is you go, really? I'm a virgin. Now, agree and amplify at work again. Even if you are a virgin, let it ride as a joke. Right? She knows you are too smooth to be a virgin. If you've done everything in this system, then she's no way in hell she can probably think you're a virgin. But she doesn't want to be another notch on your belt. Right? So if she says something to the effect of, wait, I don't know, you're really smooth. How often do you do this? Or you're such a player. How many girls have you had in your bed in the last 2 days or something? Be like, really? I'm a virgin. Right? And it's like such an ironic thing. And you're kind of looking at her with this little coy smile. She doesn't really want to be with a virgin. That's why I'm saying if you are a virgin, don't tell her that you're a virgin. But women want to be with men that are desired by the women. That doesn't necessarily mean that they want to be with men that they know, are pounding out every girl every fucking, 2 hours. You got a different girl come in the apartment. Because it does hit that point where you're like, well, fuck, I just feel kind of like I'm just another notch. Here's some more. I'm not this type of girl. I'm a good girl. And the best response is, good girls have fun too. You're just having fun. And this shows no judgment, which is very key. This one's really good for girls that maybe have never had a one-night stand. Yes, there are some of those out there. Especially, say, I don't know, maybe you're in a club that's 18 to get in, and she's 18 years old, and maybe she's never had a one-night stand. I mean, I know for a fact I've been certain girls' first one-night stand. And they'll say stuff like this, but they want to fucking let go. They want to have sex, they want to have fun, but they don't want the social repercussions of their friends thinking they're a slut or you thinking she's a slut and casting her off to the side, right? So you're removing that judgment by saying, good girls have fun too, you're just having fun. So you're taking away any levity from the situation of, I'm about to stick my dick inside your pussy and I met you an hour ago. And it's just like, no, we're just having fun, that's it. And then you go back to kissing her. I'm not usually like this. I don't know. She needs comfort and reassurance. So this is what you can do. You're going to look deep in her eyes, right? And you just say, we're just two adults having fun. And there's just something about you. Right? And this alludes to there being a connection between you two, which will open her up. Now, you might think, well, that's kind of playing her. No, not really, because there is something about her. She's naked in your bed, or she's in your bed, so that is something about her. But when you say something like that, like, we're just two adults having fun, and there's something about it, there's really three parts to that tiny little sentence, that we're two adults. In other words, you're not a kid, you guys aren't in high school, like, we're adults, having fun, you're both having fun, consensual adult fun, and there's something about you. Now, she might go, well, what is it? And be like, I don't know. Just give me a kiss, right? You don't want to get into that because then she's just going to start, her brain's going to start going crazy. It's better for her to not know, right? So generally, though, that works. Most of the time, they're not going to push. It's just they want to feel like they're special. They want to feel like there's some comfort and reassurance, and this is where you got to know how to calibrate. Sometimes you got to be more of an asshole. Sometimes you got to be more beta, so to speak, which is not being beta. It's called being smart. And knowing how to navigate her emotional roller coasters that she's going through when she's in bed with you. Now, another one, a girl will say is, like, what if I just give you a blowjob and we don't have sex? Okay, now, you literally just be like, okay. Now, while she's giving you head, be playing with her pussy, get her so wet and horny, she hops on your dick. I cannot tell you how many times this has happened to me. So, let's say you're on the couch and things are getting hot and heavy. And then she's like, wait, what if I just give you a blowjob? She's like, okay, It doesn't matter. Just have her doing something. Get her busy. So she's giving you a blowjob and she's propped up on the couch or wherever. Maybe she's on her knees. Just reach down there and start playing with her pussy. Get her so wet and horny. I'm telling you, she's going to just, and she's going to just hop on it and go to town. Now, those are the most common, and most girls operate from the same script, so to speak. The beauty of game is that the more you practice it, you almost predict what she's going to say, and you'll already have the perfect answer. Now, there are 4 key components to overcoming LMR. 1, keeping her in state, i.e. keeping her horny, teasing her and getting her so turned on she gives you hardly any or 0 LMR. Number 2, keeping the party going. The more fun she is having with you, the less logical she would be thinking about what she is doing with you. A perfect example is like having the party music in the Uber turned up, right? Or throwing on some music wherever you wind up, your hotel room or whatever, right? Having a little bit to drink when you get there. You're keeping the party going. 3, acting as though it's as natural as can be, and it is, for you two to be hooking up so fast. Number 4, super key, being judgmental free. The moment she thinks you are judging her, she will stop you, and she will clam up like a motherfucker, guaranteed. Now, keeping her in state, i.e., keeping her horny, teasing her, and getting her so turned on she gives you hardly any or 0 LMR. You can keep her turned on by a combination of push-pull. Excuse me. Now, here's an example. Let's say the two of you are on a bed, right? If you swooped her from a bar, and then she throws up an excuse, like one of the ones in the earlier slides, and you combat it with a witty response, right? You continue kissing her, and then after a moment, she pulls away and says, no, really, I can't have sex. Say, okay. Then turn over and flip on the TV. Okay, now you're playing the long game, right? So you did the whole, like, I'm getting her enraptured, boom, we're keeping the emotions going, the party's going, pop, 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 and then all of a sudden she just puts the brakes on it, like, no, really, I can't have sex. Okay. Like, don't sit there and be like, but why not? Or please, don't do that shit. I'm telling you, turn her the fuck off and she realizes she has the power. Just say, okay, completely unemotional. Turn over, flip on the TV. Okay, now you're playing the long game. So ignore. Do not get mad. Just focus your attention on something else, aka the TV. What happens probably around 80% of the time is that the withdrawal of your attention causes her to crave it again. Right? She'll snuggle up next to you and say, are you mad at me? To which you reply, I'm good. But you continue to focus your attention on TV. Then after a few minutes, start kissing her again and get her worked back up into a horny state. Generally what happens is she'll give in at that point, say something like, do you have a condom? Of which she'll produce one like a magician. A girl saying, do you have a condom is the equivalent of saying, I'm ready to have sex, obviously. But it's super key you do not get emotional about it. And I know, as a man, it's frustrating as fuck. You both could be naked. You're ready to stick it in. She's like, no, I can't have sex. And you're like, what the fuck? You know, they don't understand how they can frustrate you. But be chill. I'm telling you, if you play it cool, even if she doesn't give in for some reason, you're going to come off as more of an alpha male that's in control of his emotions. And you should be anyway. I know it seems hard, but you need to be able to have control of your emotions anyway, that you're not mad. You're completely unemotional. It's just like, oh, I'm good. And you're fine, right? And then you just build it back up. So it's like a rubber band. You know, if you pull the rubber band, there's all that tension, which is right before she says, no, really, I can't have sex. And the rubber band comes back to normal, so there's no tension. And then you're just going to slowly stretch it back out. Now, sometimes the girl is doing this as a last-ditch shit test. Yep, she'll want the sex too. They generally do. I mean, they do. I mean, but sometimes they just don't know how to vocalize it or say it. But she wants to make sure that you are as alpha as you acted in the club through and through. When you hold frame or unemotional, pull back, then go for it again. It shows you go for what you want, but you aren't needy. You're respectful of her boundaries, and you're persistent in a good way. Okay, at that point, you've now proven that you're a true alpha, and she feels safe in her choice of hooking up with you. I know it sounds crazy, but we are talking about women here. Now, keeping the party going, this is another one. The more fun she is having with you, the less logical she will be thinking about what she is doing with you. Okay, that's why the party music in the Uber's turned up. Throwing on some music wherever you wind up with her can help, and nightcaps as well. Now, it's super key to be cool, calm, and collected in transit to the hotel or yours apartment, wherever the fuck you're going. Okay, don't flip out the Uber or the cabbie. If you're sober and driving, excuse me, do not drive like an idiot. It'll freak her out. I mean, just don't be, you're not in high school, right? You don't need to be driving like a fucking moron. Just keep it chill. You're not doing anything to rock the boat. And specifically, keep the vibe sexy and fun, right? She wants to have fun, and you are the fun giver of the night. She's going to have so much fucking fun, she's going to take her panties off, she's going to slide her pussy on your cock. You get my drift? I've seen buddies cock block themselves at the very end in transit because their mood got foul. Hell, I've even done it in the past. But keep your emotions in check, even if it's been a long night, and get happy. Doesn't mean you have to have a shit-eating grin plastered across your face, but you are headed somewhere private with a sexy girl beside you. How bad could life be? Now, generally, you know, especially if a guy's been drinking, maybe by the end of the night, he's just, something happens to tick him off. He starts getting an attitude. I've been there, done that, seen people do that. But keep it in check, because you can most definitely cockblock yourself doing this. So this might seem like a given, but trust me, it happens, so it's just a reminder. All right, and another one, acting as though it's as natural as can be. And it is for you two to be hooking up fast. Now, sometimes when you pull a sexy girl fast, she might start freaking out, right? You read her so good that she starts throwing up LMR to slow her action down. And the key is to play it cool and act natural, as though it's completely normal for two consenting adults to hook up within an hour or just a few minutes of meeting each other. Hell, I mean, to be honest, it is kind of normal nowadays. If she throws up lines like, you are too smooth, I never do this, oh my God, what am I doing, etc., then use frame to control the situation. Pull her in close to you and say, baby, we're two adults just having fun. You were safe, and we're going to have a drink, and we're going to keep kissing upstairs. Now, kiss me with those gorgeous lips, you sexy girl. Then give her a kiss that melts her. Now, of course, you want to do more than just kiss upstairs at your apartment. At that moment in time, she needs reassurance that what she's about to do is okay, that you are not judging, and that she is safe. Every single time I've used this move, the girl was fine afterwards and we had sex. Why? Because it is a boss move. Be a boss, keep her chill. And that line is fucking money, to reiterate this. And you can play with it a little bit, but that gist, hey, we're just two adults having fun. You're safe, and I'm not no serial killer. Just going to go upstairs, have a drink, and that's it. And come give me a kiss, right? And you're just bringing her in and kissing her. You're not waiting for a response or anything. And then you lead her the fuck up. Now, she might be like, you know what? I'm just not going up. But okay, well, suit yourself. Take care. And just move the fuck on. Being judgmental free. The moment she thinks you are judging her, she will stop you. Okay, this is huge. Of course, you are judging her in your mind, but don't vocalize it. It will not pay off for you, that I can assure you of. Even if you think she's the biggest slut known to mankind, keep it to yourself. You are not marrying her. She's not the mother of your future children, so relax. It does not matter. You're having fun with her, and she'll be a great lay. Enjoy it. Now, here's a super common mistake guys make, and by me breaking this down, you'll get what I mean. So let's say, a guy and girl are on the way to his house, or whatever the fuck it is. And she says something like, well, how many girls have you been with? Because you're so good, you're so smooth or something. And he'll actually give her a number, 5. Don't do that. Just say enough. Or thousands, which is amplifying, right? It's funny. How many girls have you been with? Around 3,000. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Of course, yes. I've been with 3,000 girls. And just kind of roll your eyes. So you're not answering it, but it's like, well, he's obviously been with, a few girls, but I don't know how many. Enough is a great one. How many girls have you been with? I've been with enough, darling. Whatever. Something to that variation. To actually give a number, if your number's really high, it's probably going to freak her out. If it's really low, it's going to freak her out. So it's better to not give a number. Now, she might go, oh, and she's thinking, that's way too little. Like, this dude probably won't be good in bed. Plus, if she's been with more guys than you've been with girls, she's going to look down at you at your value. And then the dumb thing the guy will do will be like, well, how many guys have you been with? Which is a stupid fucking question to ask. And then she might actually be like, well, fuck it, and say, well, around 20, or whatever her number is. And then he freaks out. Are you serious? You're only 21. You're only 21 years old. You've been with 20 guys? And then just killed it. Just killed everything about their little, insta romance. Now her, like, what the fuck? Are you calling me a slut? Let me out of the car. I'm not going home with you. So he just cock-blocked himself. He could have handled that shit test when she said, how many girls have you been with just saying enough, or, 3,000, whatever. Laughed it off, turned up the music, that's it. But, because he couldn't keep his mouth shut, cock-blocked himself. Don't judge verbally. If she's slutty, great. Now she's going to be your slut for the night, but wrap it up for sure. Judging her will cause her to throw up LMR so fast your head will spin. Guaranteed. And that is no fucking joke. And now for one of the most golden moves you as a player can use. I hit the wrong button on here. My goodness, I'm sorry. I was trying to hit the forward button. I hit the back button. So anyway. Okay, now this is one of the most golden moves you as a player can use, right? It's an old move that was probably invented by Casanova. That is like how long it's been around. But some old G told me, this guy was cool. He's actually a retired undercover detective, and he was one of my mentors for a bit, just in the game, not in business or anything, but in the game. I learned a lot from him. But he told me about it years and years ago, and I'm sure someone else told him as well, and he was just passing on to me. But it's called the dick move. There's different variations of what it's called, but he called it the dick move. That's what I called it. The dick move is simple, right? Let's say the two of you are on the bed getting hot and heavy, but she dropped an LMR line on you. So simply guide her hand gently, never force, but simply guide her hand gently down to your cock and place her hand on it. At this point, since the two of you have been making out, etc., you should be ready to go, aka you have a hard-on. What generally happens is she gets to playing with it, and it puts her over the edge, and the LMR ceases to exist. Right? So you got a hard-on, you're making out, you just kind of, put her hand down there, she touches it, she gets curious, and then one thing leads to another. Now, it's not always 100%, but this move has served me extremely fucking well, and I know multiple other players have said it's worked very well for them. Now, the beauty of it is it's easy. Right? It's not even something you need to remember in terms of a line or anything. It's just guiding your hand gently down to your cock. It's almost natural to do that. It's effective most of the time, and it shows solid dominance because you are leading. Now, here's a pro tip. If you really want to take it up a notch, and this is a whole nother level. If you really want to take it up a notch and tease her, guide her hand down to your cock for a couple of brief seconds. Right? So let her get a little feel for it. Then move her hand off of your cock. She'll be even more eager to get back to it. And when you do let her touch it again, she'll be raring to go. Final tips for the Get Laid Tonight speed system. I have a few more tips for you, gentlemen. All right, as this rockin' speed system ends now, I'd like to share some quick parting tips with you. I wish you the best as you go out and implement this system that took me years of trial and error to develop. Now, tip number 1, always carry a condom on you and use it. She's going to ask for you to have a condom. You need to have one on you. And just get in the habit of using them. It'll save you grief down the road. Once you're in a relationship with a chick or you have a harem, then you can, once you get to know the girl, you get a better idea if you need to use one or not. But for one-night stands, bring a condom, use it. Tip number 2, rejection is a part of being a player. The quicker you accept it, laugh, and move on is the moment you just became a better player. Tip number 3, there will be nights where you might not pull, so don't get discouraged. This system puts you at probably 98% of men in the world, so you have the tools. You just have to practice. Tip number 4, when you get your first lay from this system, shoot me an email. I'd love to hear the report. AskChristian@realchristianmcqueen.com. Definitely send me in your stories. I love reading them. Now, tip number 5, last but certainly not least, have fun. One-night stand game is the most fun type of game, in my humble opinion, and you're going to have an absolute blast as you implement it. So good luck, player. I'm in your corner cheering you on. Now go get laid tonight. Connect with me. Connect with me on social media for my latest tweets, free blog posts, and product updates, and my wit, of course. Facebook.com/author Christian McQueen. Twitter @RealCMcQueen. Instagram @RealChristianMcQueen. Connect with me on all those mediums, and yeah, you'll be able to read my blog posts, see photos from inside my life, my Instagram, and then Twitter. I'm always tweeting some sort of stuff, whether entertaining or helpful. So follow, connect with me, and a sincere big thank you for purchasing the Get Laid Tonight Speed System. Appreciate it. I know you're going to get a lot out of it. You now have lifetime access to it. So enjoy it. And if you have just purchased this, then you know I've got the ebook bonus that's coming to you here in a couple weeks, and in the documentary in about 3 weeks, which I'm really excited about that. That is going to be sick as fuck. I can't wait for you to see it. I've already been able to see a lot of the footage. It's just still getting edited and whatnot, but it's sick. You're going to love it. Can't wait till you see it, and definitely send me an email or tweet me. Let me know what you think. But thank you for purchasing the Get Laid Tonight Speed System. Good luck out there, player. You can do it.